Hi guys, I'm here today to tell you about this pretty new exciting product that we're going to have from GUNSAILS. It's called the bow sail. You may wonder why the bow sail. Once I rig it up, I think it will be clear why we call it the bow sail. It's a very unique design. It's super innovative, that actually promotes a really great range of use, so it gets planing relatively quickly. But because the way the sail sets up is so dynamic in the different wind conditions, that you can also sail it for a long time, so there's a lot of high-end control. Yeah, so it's quite a unique setup, and I'm pretty excited to introduce this to you guys. So we're going to start with some rigging, because there's actually the base rigging is pretty much the same as a GSR or a Vector. There's just a few little things that you got to pay attention to, because there's some pretty extreme luff curve in this sail. So this sail also requires a special mast, so we're introducing a bow mast, which is specially made for this sail. Do not try to rig this sail on your normal GUNSAILS mast. I don't know what will happen, but just don't do it. Not a good idea. So as you can see, the bow mast looks like a regular normal mast, but when you actually push on it, you'll see there's quite some flex in the top. So there is hard tops, there's constant curves, there's flex top, and then there's the bow mast. It's much more than a flex top. So the rigging is the same as you do on a GSR or a Vector. You simply put the mast into the bottom of the sail, and you bring it to the top of the sail body inside the sleeve, and you slide it all the way up. Obviously, because the curve is quite great at the top of the sail, you're gonna have to pass the sail up a few more times. So when we push it in, you see now it really just stops. So we really have to go up to the boom opening, open it up, and we really have to take a 2 or 3 step process to get the mast all the way to the top. So we slide it in, we pull some of the slack out, and then we do that like 2 more times. Bam. And then we quickly check to make sure that the mast is in, but I could already tell from the sound that it made that it went straight into the head cap. And now, because we have to bend the sail such a long way, you'll see that the sail is actually quite far away from the extension. So the nice thing, or the thing that I advise for you when you are rigging the bow sail, is to use a slightly longer rope over here, because you're going to have to pull the sail quite a bit. To rig the sail, we pretty much do the same thing as we do on the Vector. We put some downhaul until we're about 10 cm away from the setting that's printed on the foot of the sail, so the mast is quite far forward. And now we just simply take the mast and we pop the cams onto the mast. For this one, you got to put your hand inside and just squeeze it on. And then here, it's all the same as if you're rigging a GSR. That's that. One of the nice things about this sail compared to a Vector or a GSR or whatever is that the tension on the downhaul doesn't need to be so extreme to get the stability, because the stability is actually coming from the shape of the sail and the way the sail is actually dynamically adjusting itself to the wind strength. So to pull the downhaul, it's actually quite easy. I already over downhauled it, you see, so it's actually a little bit too much tension on the downhaul. But we're going to set up the boom, and then we'll come back to the downhaul setting. One thing we should not forget when putting the boom on is putting this, this is still a prototype version, there will be a production version. It's a friction bearing that goes in between the boom and the mast, that gives the mast the ability to actually twist in the sail, making the shape of the sail 100% dynamic. So when we put the boom on the mast, we don't want to put it too tight, so just make sure, obviously it needs to be tight, but don't over tension it, because the more tension you put on it, the more friction you'll have on the bearing, and the whole point of the bearing is to actually take out some of the friction and allow the mast to move freely. For the outhole tension, it's about the same as what you have on the GSR or Vector, so it's just slightly plus from neutral. So neutral I call when the sail is actually without any tension. So that's about, you know, like right now, it's about 1 cm of tension to get the outhole to the right setting. super excited about the performance of the sail, and I really look forward where this concept is going to end up, and I think it looks really promising. So I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did.